Coming back from the post office. I just wanted to give an update that every single person that has paid for their comics have been sent out. Some of them were from the first auction, were all mailed out on Saturday, so some of you may already have them. I know one person already verified like 2 days later. They actually, I think on Monday they said, or Tuesday, they already got their package. So if you have not sent your payment yet, a couple people I know said either payment plans or they gave me the heads up. As soon as the payments are made, I can end up getting those shipped out for you. So far I think I've shipped out like 25 packages. And I just wanted to show really quick the car that I bought. I absolutely love this thing. So much better in the dark. But leather seats, heated everything, computer, tactometer. It's probably one of the best car. Well, it is the best car I've ever owned, and I have my wife and comic books to thank for it, and you guys as well, of course. That's why instead of going on eBay and selling to a bunch of strangers, I would have preferred. And there's some of the beautiful palm trees where I live. It is approximately 74 degrees right now. But I would have rather have sold them to you guys that watch my channel, or at least watch my channel that, and we're able to get some comics that you didn't have before. Pay, because some of these books that I've sold were definitely below what people are paying on eBay, and if I can make people happy, I'm very happy about that. And that's why I always preach that if you can get multiple copies of books, you can sell some if you have to, or you can trade them to upgrade a book or to get something that you've always wanted. And just to show you, this is my scenery every day now. I used to live in New York. I lived in New York all my life. Well, for the first 49 years of my life, and moved here about a year and a half ago. The comics got me the house. Comics got me this car. It's not a brand new car. It's only a 2015, but I mean, it's got heated and cooled seats. It's got a backup camera. It's got so many different things. It's amazing for me. My last car that just happened to just die one day, and I had to find a car quick. I had to actually come up with the money too, and thanks to you guys, I'll be able to pay this in full. So it shows that if you know what you're doing when it comes to comic collecting, you can end up having a pretty decent life. And this is coming from a person who's almost died 10 different times. When I lived in New York, I was losing everything. I lost my job. I was going to lose my house. I had no money to be able to move anywhere, let alone know where to move. And then my car breaks down, and then when I moved here, I ended up in the hospital. As a matter of fact, if you haven't seen the video, go back to 2019, in the month of November, I believe. I had to have an ambulance carry me to the hospital where I stayed 5 days. And I've had breathing problems all my life, but it was the first time they said, you know, we have no idea what you have. So if you think about it, I could have been one of the first people with the coronavirus, because they didn't know what I had. And it was the weirdest feeling I ever felt. I literally was passing out on the bathroom floor. So, you know, I haven't exactly lived a life of nothing but happiness and everything going my way. But if you don't give up and you stay positive, things will always work out for you if you put in the effort and you have a positive mindset. So the beautiful thing is, I was able to acquire all of this to help me and my wife be able to live a decent life. And I didn't even have to sell my A comics. And because, like, for example, the two Fantastic Fours number 49s that I sold, I knew if I would have held on to them, I, in another year or two, would have probably tripled the amount that I sold them for. But because I have like 10 to 12 copies, I didn't mind selling one or two. I made a little bit of a profit, but other people got books a little bit, you know, cheaper than what they would have done if I would have sold them 2 years from now, and it hopefully made them happy. And as a matter of fact, I met two of my viewers because they bought the comics and paid for them in person, and they were nothing but nice. One of them I had a nice conversation with. So I have comics to thank for a lot of things in my life, and I want people to be inspired. You know, I know times are rough, but like they say, if you're in a storm, the place you want to be is in the eye of the storm, in the center. So this way the chaos is all around you, but you're not in it. So you can actually prosper even when times are difficult. And if you know about history, and one of the things I always say is please research history, that there were more millionaires that came out of the Great Depression era than any other time in US history. So if you prepare, if you have knowledge, if you put in the effort, if you lose your fear and gain your confidence, you'd be amazed at how much you can achieve in your life. And I want to inspire people. There are so many people right now that want to, make all their money scaring people these days. And that to me is not the best way to live your life. It is a way to live, but it's not a good way. And like, if the people that watched my second auction, because I trust people, I had 2 trolls that were bidding on my comics and playing a big joke, but I didn't see it at first because, like I said, I'm a very trusting person. And I ended up selling the comics that they were joking around for, thinking they had the last laugh, for even more than what they were pretending. And it ended up, they went to somebody that wanted them, paid for them, and is about to be getting them. One of the things I want to mention, if you are one of the people that bought one of the comics, if you have a YouTube channel, if you do an unboxing video, share the link with me and I will put it in my favorites list. I will watch the video, I will like it, and I will also subscribe to your channel. So if you get one of the comics that you ordered from my auction, and you share the link, I will make sure that I watch it, add it to my favorite section so other people can see it, and subscribe to your channel. And then one other thing I want to make sure, only one comic so far has not been sent that was paid for, and that was Jason, I believe from Arizona, because when I went to bring it there Saturday, the postal worker said that they could not verify the address. So I didn't want to just blindly send it and hope it ends up that the address was right. Because I've even had in my business account people, they typed the wrong address in. So I emailed him a couple of times. I left a couple of posts. If anybody knows who he is, and I can't give out his last name, for privacy reasons. But if Jason, if you're hearing this because you're waiting to see your comic and it hasn't arrived yet, I have been trying to message you. I've mentioned it in a couple of videos, so hopefully you'll see it. And the comic will be there waiting for you because you did pay for it. So, it'll get there as soon as you can verify your address, so I know that I'm sending it to the right place and it doesn't get lost. All packages are well secured. They are all in either boxes or the Gemini mailers, and I add cardboard to them for more security. No manila envelopes. I made sure I put either fragile or do not bend all over them. I mean, literally all over them. And I sent everything priority. A couple of people did ask for signature verification. One hasn't finished paying yet, so I'll make sure I have that. Just remind me. And I will be doing auctions again because it went beyond what even I thought. Because originally, remember when I said on the first one, I said I was only going to do it if I got 100 people viewing. And at the time, there was only about 50. So only about half of what I was saying. And I could have easily just said, you know what? I didn't get the 100, so I'm not going to do it. I did it, and it ended up being so worth my while. I was able to pay for this car in full, pay off my credit card bills, and no longer be in debt. And I got several people very happy with getting comics they could get cheaper. They couldn't get cheaper anywhere else. So it was a lot of fun. I want people to stay positive. Don't let this time be like everybody else where you're living in fear thinking I can't succeed. Let me be the proof that a person who literally almost died 10 to 12 times in my life, who has lost everything. When I moved here, within 1 month, I lost one of my cats. The next year, I lost the second cat. Then I ended up in the hospital. I had to have an ambulance carry me to the hospital where I almost died and basically was being tortured for 5 days because they literally, for 5 days straight, they had to do a blood sample every 4 hours. So for 5 days, I got no more than about 3.5 hours worth of sleep. I was going crazy at the end to the point where my blood vessels were all totally shot from the 50 to 60 needles in me that was there. You know, I deal with trolls that attack me and lie about me and make up things about me. You saw what happened at the auction, but I don't let it get me. At one time I did. That's why my original Reloves Comics channel was shut down. But if you grow and become a different person, it doesn't matter what you're in the past. Live in the moment. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about 10 minutes from now. Don't worry about 10 seconds ago. Focus on where you are right now, and you will be amazed at how much easier your life will be. Because if you know anything about quantum physics, quantum mechanics, and things like that, there is only now. If you're waiting for tomorrow, tomorrow never comes because you are always in an infinite now. So don't let other people drag you down, because remember, misery loves company. So somebody like me and others, the fewer people. Now, I'm no, Bill Gates, thank God. I'm no multimillionaire. I don't need to be. And you don't need to have millions of dollars to be successful. You just have to be happy where you are. So don't judge success with how many numbers you have in a bank account or how many green or whatever colored pieces of paper you have in your wallet. Success is, are you happy where you are? And if you can be happy where you are, then you are more successful than 99% of the people on this planet who are convinced the world is ending, who are convinced they're going to die at any moment, who are living in the fear. Because right now, you see, I'm about to go to Walmart. I have to buy a couple things. You notice I don't have a mask. I'm not going to be wearing one. I have not been wearing one for a year and a half. And I haven't gotten sick. I haven't had problems. Knock on wood. People want to believe in what they believe in. That's perfectly fine. People can say what I say is utter nonsense. I can only show you a different path. It's your choice whether you want to walk it or not. But I don't succeed or fail based on what you choose to do. But if I can help inspire one more person to look at things a little bit differently, and even when it boils down to their collections, say, well, I've been looking for this specific comic and I can't find it and I'm going to give up. Well, if you give up, you don't get it. So you've made your belief system into a truth. So think of it like dates. How many of you are married? How many of you, before you got married, dated other women? Do you really care about, or other men? How many of those people do you care about now that you're with the person that makes you happy? So it doesn't matter how many times you fail. It only matters the one time you succeed, because that will supersede everything. So that's why I don't look for any specific comics. They find me. Because if you know anything about how the universe works, everything is light and magnetism. You attract not what you think, not what you believe, not what you hope for, not what you wish for, not what you pray for, but what you truly know in your heart. That's why they say put your heart into it. And again, many people will say that's full of garbage and I'm crazy and whatever. And those are the people that are not succeeding. Those are the people that are angry with me because I refuse to be on their level. And here's what my advice I would give when it comes to collecting or anything in life. Most people follow what the masses do. Name one invention or one situation that changed the world based on what the masses of the people did. It's not the masses that change the world. It's not the masses that invent the new thing like penicillin or the new computer. It's usually one person that changes the world. But if you look at the world today, if one person is different from the masses, they're considered crazy. I would rather follow the one person that has a different path that I resonate with than follow 1,000,000 people that take me down a cliff just because it was more comfortable and easier. If you want to live the easy life, don't be surprised everything is hard for you to get. That's the irony of it all. So be happy with who you are and know that it's okay. You're going to lose things from time to time. As they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Just some of the things I said that I've had just in the past 2 years is not even 1% of some of the things that have happened in my life. And I could have been bitter. I could have been angry. And at times I was, but it didn't get me anywhere. And I focused on the comics, knowing that if I put the effort in, knowing if I put the time in, knowing if I had the patience and the confidence, I would succeed. And if you look at those auctions, of all the comics I auctioned on those 2 auctions, only, I think, 6 of them didn't sell. And I could have put even better comics out there. So you can hate a person, or you can say, I want to do, or I want to act, or I want to be just like that person, even if it's 1% different, and see where it goes. If you spend your whole life hating, you're going to have everything in your life to hate. You're never going to have joy. So whatever you truly feel in your heart is what's going to manifest before you. It's like giving your reflection the middle finger. The middle finger in the reflection cannot change unless you change it. So if you punch your reflection, or if you're mad at your reflection, it's just showing you what you're giving out. So like those trolls, most people got, they're like, oh, they're annoying, and they are, but I view them like mosquitoes. You just squash them and they go away, or if you just don't pay attention to them, because their goal is to try and disrupt me. And all it did was just delay the inevitable. That's how I look at it. So they will never win. And I feel sorry for them because they spend their life being bitter and angry instead of being loving, caring, and trying to learn from somebody who would be more than happy to help them. So there's always a choice in the world. But if you think in an infinite universe with infinite possibilities that you only have one path because other people told you so, well, they're not right, you are. Because if you choose to believe that system, and you believe it all the way into your heart that what you're being told or what everybody else is doing, you agree with, you've now connected to that path. That becomes your truth. Why would you want to do that to yourself and those you love? Put in the effort, change your mindset. If you're looking for a comic and you don't get it, so what? There's always going to be another one out there. And maybe the one you didn't get means that the one you will get is actually better. But most people think of the world as half empty. Oh, I didn't get it. There was my opportunity. Well, what if you were driving down the road and you're late for work and all of a sudden you got a traffic light and you're mad? But what if that light would have been green and you would have gotten into a car accident and severely injured yourself? Most people don't see that certain events that happen in your life can actually be stopping something tragic from happening. But you don't see it because you're living in the moment. And you're thinking about where you're going. In other words, you're so worried about the future, you forget where you are. And you are the pilot. Don't let anybody else steer you. If you're the pilot of your own ship, don't let somebody else tell you how to steer or where to go. They can suggest all they want. They could say, oh, look at all those other boats and planes. They're all going that way. Well, if you don't want to go that way, don't go that way. And if they mock you or laugh at you, guess what? When you're going this way and they're going that way, eventually you'll never see them again. So they'll have no influence in your life. Those trolls might have had, what, a half hour to an hour's worth of fun at my expense? Who won in the end, them or me? I ended up selling those books for more. People that maybe had doubts about me saw the things that I have to deal with, and it made me actually come out better because I didn't curse them out. I didn't insult them. I didn't try and ruin their lives. I just said, well, they had their fun. Now let's get back to it, and we'll go back to them. Be the better person, and you will always succeed. So before all of my minutes run out on my phone, I want to thank the 10 people that hit the thumbs up. That means a lot to me. Thank you to the 20 people that are currently watching. Again, if you are watching this and you're just coming in, if you paid for your comics already for either one of those auctions, all of them but one has gone out, and the one is from Jason from Arizona. I'm waiting for him to contact me because they could not verify his address, and I did not want to just blindly send it out. And Florence says those trolls just wanted attention. Of course, there are 2 ways to get attention. Positive attention, negative attention. Either way, it's attention. I would rather have the positive. It's so much better on your life. Because you know what? Nobody's going to look at those two and say, boy, I want to be just like them. They're not role models, but yet they had a half hour, an hour's worth of little fun that inconvenienced me for a moment. Like I said, it's like a mosquito. Mosquito may sting you for a second and may be annoying, but once you squash them and flip them off, they don't bother you anymore. That's how I look at life now, and that's why I am going a successful route and not a failure route anymore, because I've decided that since it's my choice and it's my ride, I'm going to go in the way I want to go. And if I don't like it, have fun on your journey, and I hope it brings you somewhere that you learn something, because even a negative and bad experience, if you pay attention to it, you can learn from it. You know, you'll never know if you like a food until you try it. So if you try a food and you don't like it, and it's horrible, well, you've learned through a horrible experience never to do it again. So if you hate peaches, it'd be foolish for you to keep eating them and complaining about them. It'd be even more foolish to be mad at others who like them. Who cares what somebody else's choice is? If you hate peaches, congratulations. Why are you spending your energy worried about others who love them? And that's the same with comics. If you like to collect a certain way, that's great. Who cares what everybody else does? As long as it doesn't affect you, why should you care so much? But if you do, that says a person has anger, they don't want to deal with it, they have to vent their frustration, and the only way they know how is to try and hurt others to stoop down to their level. Refuse to be those people and refuse to be a victim, and you'll be surprised at how less of a victim you will ever be. That doesn't mean bad things might happen, because they can. But if you learn from them, you can avoid things. And you can learn from them and maybe even become better. Because back when I was living in New York and I lost my job and I had about $300 in my bank account and I was about to lose my house, I could have been depressed. I could have shot myself. I could have said, I'm never going to achieve anything, and I wouldn't be where I am today. So everything is a choice. So in my opinion, if you want a better life, make a better choice. If you're not happy with what you're doing, it's like driving down the road. Just because you're going in one direction does not mean you can't stop and turn around or go in a different direction. Unless you think you can't. Because then, that is your truth. Thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate the 11 people that gave it a thumbs up. I'll see you next video.